Hey, welcome to episode 2 of The Solve Guys.
I'm Tom. This is Ming.
We solve speed cubes, and so we figured, hey, if we can solve this, we can solve the world's problems, surely.
Easy.
Like the world's biggest problems.
Biggest problems in the world. Let's solve them.
And we're going to do that with solutions that you never saw coming. Just totally out of left field. That's right.
You'll never even see them coming.
And today's episode, we have, man, it's going to be incredible. We have got a problem that really needs addressing. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
It's a problem that I think affects people from birth, and that is the problem of cues.
Cues, yeah.
Yeah, like the letter Q.
Yeah, exactly. It's
very hard
it's an
to
annoying
say
letter,
the letter
like,
Q.
do I have to put a U after it every time?
It's strange, yeah. But no, Queue.
S.
S. The fact that we're just in queues all the time.
Yeah, we're always waiting. Everywhere you go, there's just other people there and they're just like in the way.
Well, do you want to guess? So I found this statistic. Do you want to estimate how much of the average person's life apparently is spent waiting in queues, in lines?
For their whole life?
For their whole life. How much of a life do you spend just waiting in a line?
A year? I don't know.
Apparently, well, estimates vary, but it's anywhere between 6 months to 6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
At the top, at the max.
Wow. I mean, it depends on what you consider to be a queue. Like maybe if you consider like waiting in traffic, something like that, to be waiting in line. But 6 years of your life in queues. This is a problem that needs addressing, and we are going to fix that today.
Let's do it.
We are also joined by a very esteemed guest, our very first guest on the Solve Guys podcast.
The first to do it.
Will you please say hello to Cary?
Hello, everyone. It's me, Cary. Oh my gosh, the cheering!
The crowd goes wild for Cary.
Wow.
Wild for you. If you don't know
We
who
got a
Cary
live
is,
audience.
I'm actually, I can fanboy a little bit, right? I've been a fan of Cary for a while. I've known him through multiple ways. He's a cuber, obviously.
Yeah.
He can solve cubes, which is why he's a solve guy. But also, he's got like multiple YouTube channels. He makes like data visualizations on just like different things in the world.
Yep.
He made this incredible visualization of like COVID cases. He's done that for like speed cube world records.
Yes, I watched those like way back when I started cubing. Some of the first videos I ever saw was like the history of the 4x4 world record single, and you see them all the cubers.
Oh, for real? So
each other. Yeah, I
so
think back in
you started
2016.
cubing. Yeah, because I remember I made those videos in like 2015.
Yeah,
and
they were pretty new at the time.
Yeah, they were pretty new at the time, and like enough time has passed that like Tom, if you got into speed cubing after that, like you can start your whole speed cubing career and become like world class within that time span.
That's right.
And I did not.
I don't think Tom was even born in 2015. Like he's that much of a baby. It's incredible.
Well,
I was
Gen
actually
Alpha
watching
baby.
those videos in the straight out of the womb, watching cube roll vids.
Yeah, I mean, after the queue. Yeah,
the hospital really knows what videos to play.
That's exactly right. I mean, to me, I think Cary's best known, probably worldwide, stuff that you've seen that you didn't even know he made. He is responsible for Scale of the Universe.
Yeah, massive.
Oh my god!
I watched that like as a student, and then as a high school teacher, which I worked as for quite a while. I use that video almost every single year because, I mean, you're talking about atoms and you're talking about like galaxies and relative scales. I use that, the animation so many times, and then later find out it was made by Cary, who we have on as a podcast today, guest today. Crazy.
Oh wow, that is really cool that like you use as both a student and as a teacher. Like I feel like in terms of like the timeline of like me making stuff on the internet, I always refer to the first Scale of the Universe as sort of like the beginning, like the genesis of it all.
Yeah.
Because like before that, I had been like posting like really crappy games to Newgrounds, and nobody knew about them. But then like Scale of the Universe was like my first big break, and I remember like when it was like blowing up, I was like in my bedroom, and my dad walked in, and I sort of joked with him like, I wonder if this will be like the pinnacle of my life, and I peaked at age 12 and now it's all downhill. But like
age 12,
I 12, no way. You made that when you were 12?
Well, like the first version, there's like two different versions, and the first one's like
still, you made version 1 when you were 12. I was like picking my nose when I was 12. What was I doing when I was 12?
And that was teaching Ming's high school students.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess it's like, I don't know. I feel like like what kids like absorb knowledge pretty quickly. Like I feel like it's really easy to learn how to code nowadays because you can like Google stuff. So I feel like it just sort of felt natural.
You don't need to be humble.
Like,
you're a genius. You don't need to be
humble. It's fine.
Oh no,
we love you.
No, I can't accept that. But like, yeah, I guess that was like 13 years ago now. So
yeah,
like,
well, we clearly got the right guest on to solve today's problems. We'll say a bit more about them later. But this episode is sponsored by dailypuzzles.com.au. And now that I've got the mat out, I think it's a tradition. Well, it's a one episode tradition that I would like to continue. In episode 1, I challenged Tom to a really quick 3x3 head-to-head just to see if it was possible that I could beat him, and I totally didn't. But can I have another go? Is that all right? Yes.
Just this one time, I will let you have a rematch.
Not just this one time. Come, just until I beat you. I don't know how many episodes it's going to take. Cary, do you have a cube with you? Do you want to join us?
I do have a cube.
All right.
Yeah.
We can just listen to like the clicking of the cube and assume that you're
sorry. Audio
you can
listeners.
make up your time. You can just say whenever you're finished, and we won't even be able to check.
Oh yeah, because you can't see me. Well, I'll be honest. Honesty is
the best policy.
It is the best policy. All right, here we go. All right, double X cross.
Exactly. I've already I've one looked actually already.
My cube is solved right now. I haven't even scrambled it.
Oh, Cary's done, guys.
Okay,
it's over.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Yep. Oh no,
I'm done.
Nope. That was not.
We don't believe you, Cary.
Slight cheating there. Slow down, Tom. You
Boom.
don't. Why?
He takes the win again.
I got a bad
Somebody
case.
stop him.
I got an EPUM. So
are you guys hearing these excuses?
Wait, Tom, did you win?
Oh my gosh. Yes, he did.
That felt like a 11 or a 10. I don't know. Like I can't count in my head.
Unreasonably fast.
I think
it'll happen.
9 or 10 for me.
It'll
maybe.
happen. For the faithful Solve Guys listeners, I promise an episode will come when I beat him.
There is some timeline in the universe, some multiverse where
yeah, Doctor Strange is aware of that timeline.
By
Who knows if it's this one?
Stroke of luck, I pass out or I have a heart failure during the solve and you win. So
this anvil just like falls on your head.
The
like
ceiling collapses, but only on me.
Right. Hey, let's get solving. So today's problem that we're going to solve is queues. Queues take many forms, as we talked about before. There are physical queues where people stand in line. There are virtual queues. For example, you can be put on hold if you're calling, for customer service. You're in a queue in a machine if you're driving a car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Traffic lights.
At traffic lights. Yep. Cary, have you got any other examples of queues that you often find yourself in?
Queues. Well, recently I got my passport renewed and I had to wait in line for like an hour, and I felt like this is typical government bureaucracy at play.
Yeah.
Like that's just, what I feel is like when I associate queues with like long waiting times, I associate that with like the government.
Yep.
And then are you also waiting for your passport or your license or packages to be delivered? Somewhat.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will say, maybe this is off on a tangent, but like once I got my passport stolen in a different country, and they made a new passport for me in like 24 hours because it was like an emergency. So I know that like when like push comes to shove, they can do it, but normally it takes like 6 to 8 weeks, and then it's like
that's crazy.
And it's like, why is it something so much longer?
Queue.
Yeah.
That's absolutely a type of queue. Even though you're not there in person, you are waiting for like this agency, this department to just process in order, right? Different people's passports. And that's how long you've got to wait. For the sake of our listeners, where are you right now, Cary? Like where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
Right now, well, I'm kind of close to San Diego because I'm in California. Well, I guess I won't say the exact city, but I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area in California, United States.
Hey, the US of A.
That's like the Sunshine State of America, right?
Oh,
we're in the Sunshine State of Australia.
We are
right
in
now
Queensland, the Sunshine State of Australia. So we've got that in common.
Oh, is that what it's known as? Queensland.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Which sure
is.
Is
that
best beaches in the world.
Indeed. But also with queues.
Yeah, also queues of beach.
Have you ever had to queue on the beach?
Surfing, yeah, that's another type of queue when you're out in the water amongst it.
Because you're waiting like you're taking turns.
Yeah,
that's
so
exactly
there's
right.
There's breaks where you want to be sitting, and all the surfers literally queue next to each other to take turns at that. Yeah.
And it's a problem. It's something that I think also doesn't come naturally because we actually have to teach our kids how to wait well, right?
Yes.
Like, hey, it's not your
impatient.
turn. Yeah. It's like, this person came first. It's sort of unspoken, but yet like you still need to like teach the etiquette of like
there's some etiquette.
You've got to wait. It actually isn't socially acceptable to just jump the queue, to skip ahead, because there are just social norms.
Yeah. Hey, like it makes you wonder if it's possible to have like a separate society where queuing never happens and everyone just charges for it.
Every man and woman for themselves.
Well, there's a lot of psychology that goes into queues, isn't there? So one of the things that makes it very hard for people who are waiting in line is if there's any sense of injustice. And a lot of studies have definitely shown that even if there's perceived injustice. Yeah. And so if you've been waiting for a while and all of a sudden someone, because they've got some, I don't know, fast track access at a theme park or something, just like jumps ahead of you, part of you knows, okay, maybe they paid for this privilege, maybe there's something, but a deep part of you goes, that's not fair, right?
Yeah, it's like cutting lines as well is a big point of contention.
Yeah,
people skipping the queue, maybe unjustly as well, not with the VIP pass, but just scooching in next to their mate.
I feel like in those cases, it's even less about like how much time you have to wait longer. It's more about the principle of like this person is a rule breaker and we're all rule followers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's then it becomes us versus them. You can get queue rage.
Queue rage, yeah.
No, you can. I mean, what is road rage in some senses, if not maybe a form of queue rage? Because you're just waiting or someone cut you off. There's just that perceived injustice there.
You're all going A to B. Yeah. And someone is preventing you.
What if it's legitimate though? So what if you actually really need to use the toilet? This feels like a throwback to episode 1, where we solved the problem of toilet paper, which you guys can listen to if you haven't yet. But what if you really, really, really need to go to the toilet and there's a queue? Do you think it's justified in that case to actually just go and explain, guys, I have to go right now or it's going to be ugly?
Yeah. Well,
I think it's like...
That's a gray area, isn't it?
I think it's fine area, really. If a brown area. Like if you can prove that like in the past you have queued for a bathroom and not cut the line when things are not as urgent, then like maybe like 1 out of 10 times. If you only cut the line like for like 1 out of 10 times, then you're okay. But the thing is like no one is like checking your track record.
So maybe we can have queue police with a card that we like show our card. We're like, look, I'm a good queuer. This is my identification.
Yeah. Or you get like it's like a joker. It's like a wild card that lets you once a year skip to the front, but you only get like one use.
Yeah.
So once that card's used, it's like sorry, man, you just gotta wait. Like
that actually makes a lot of sense. That reminds me of like in high school, some classes they'd say like, oh, you can only go to the bathroom like 3 times a semester. I don't know if this is like only an American thing, but like they'd give you like a limited number and then like you can use them for emergencies, but then like that would try to disincentivize like casual bathroom excursions.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's a problem here as well. Like teachers cracking down in some places on students that are using the bathroom too much, maybe.
Maybe abusing the system. Whatever it is, queues need to be solved. Can I give you just like a few more bits of stats just to really, drive home how much of a problem this is?
Sure.
Apparently, so this company called Sendi, which is an online postal service, estimates that each Christmas, Australians, right, collectively spend 1.4 million hours waiting in line at the post office just to send a parcel.
Just at the post office. Yeah.
Every
just
Christmas.
The post office.
Christmas gifts to
just
family.
Australia.
Yeah, wow.
Like, I mean, it's a big country, but it's still like, what, a tenth of the size of the US.
Less,
1.4 million hours. That's assuming like 10 minutes per parcel and just average like parcels sent per household. 1.4 million hours every Christmas waiting, doing nothing, just waiting.
Yeah. And like, I thought you were going to say 1.4 million in queues in general. And I was like, oh, that seems kind of low. But then you said just the post office.
Just around Christmas time for that.
Just around
month,
Christmas time.
really. Yeah.
It's crazy. And look, there are some companies that have done things to circumvent this. So, for example, we know that theme parks, queuing is a huge issue in theme parks.
Yeah.
And so theme parks have worked around this problem by trying to provide, fun things to do while you wait. Disneyland, Disney World's like pretty famous for that.
They have sprinklers as well. Hot
I have not been. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is what my research says in Disneyland. There's like this Monsters Inc. show where you can text your favorite jokes as you wait. And if you're lucky, those jokes will appear in the show.
Oh.
Now that's clever.
That's cool.
In the show. Oh, okay. So
yeah.
So there's some like employee who's like reading over them as a judge.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but it's like a pre-interactivity. It's very clever.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
that
not
is
something.
cool.
It's not something that can be implemented everywhere, though. Like if you were at the checkout at like the supermarket, like what are you going to do? Text your joke to the person, like the
Text your
person
favorite
at the
vegetable.
checkout?
They're going to display your favorite food item on the wall. I don't think so.
It's definitely something that only fits in like a entertainment environment. In a grocery store, people just want to get their food and leave. But that's why they have like the 15 items or less line.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
right.
Yeah, express lanes, express trains.
That's right. Because it is nice to just be able to categorize in some way. If you really just need to go in and grab like two things, then it does feel like, okay, this is now a sort of a different type of, checkout that I need compared to someone who's just done their weekly shop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, but then like
let's get into
if you have like, oh, yeah, no, you go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say let's get into solutions.
Yeah.
Tom, can I nominate you to start because I just figured if we start with your solution, we can only go up from there.
Exactly. We'll start with the worst one first, as usual. Look, I think at this point, 2023, we have all in our lives waited enough, spoken to enough people, put on our customer service face or our customer face,
Where are you going with this?
I think we just have to get rid of human interaction as a whole. I'm sick of people.
Just full stop. You're just sick
just
of
full
people.
stop.
Okay.
Honestly, I can't remember. Can you guys remember the last time at the supermarket you actually queued in the staffed line and had someone scan your groceries for you?
That's right. Because now where we are in Queensland, we're getting more like self-service checkouts.
Exactly.
Where you can just like beep your own items and then,
go as quick as you want. Get out of there. It's like an express.
So what are you suggesting?
Well,
that everywhere?
Yeah, I think that also tying back to last episode where I said I went to Japan recently, I got to see a lot of new innovative ways that they sort of speed up the process of food, etc. I went to Gusto restaurants where you order on an iPad, the food comes out on a robot, you grab it off. It was like a maybe 5-10 minute turnaround max.
Wow.
For a number of meals and drinks brought out.
Human interaction?
No, we didn't need to talk to anyone, which was
it's the dream,
refreshing.
Right?
No, it's the introvert's dream.
the introvert's dream. I had Ichiran ramen where in the city you go, there's a vending machine.
Yeah.
I had this a few times. You order what you want, get a ticket, put it into this dark abyss. You give them the ticket, they bring your food. But it's quick.
So how does that fix queues? Is it because it's quicker, right?
You don't have to wait for someone to come out and ask for your order. Yes. You don't have to send it back. It's instant.
Yep.
There's booths. It's a small space, Yep. Now this doesn't obviously completely eliminate queues. But it speeds up the process. And we can see that obviously it's working for supermarkets. That's why they have, I feel like all the supermarkets where we live now, the self-checkout area is at least twice as big.
Yep.
If not, some places, the new supermarkets just have one lane with a staff member, I feel.
Wow. So just self-service checkouts everywhere.
Yeah.
Where else do you think needs self-service checkouts?
Another thing that really shocked me, culture shock in Japan, was their gas stations, their petrol stations were self-service. Here we, you fuel up your car, right?
And then
in Australia, yes, we do.
Yeah. We fuel our own.
We are primitive. We're in the Stone Ages, Cary.
Oh, is that?
Wait,
someone else does it for you in America?
Well, no, I know in Oregon, which I don't live in Oregon, but like in Oregon, it's like legally required that like the gas station cashier or something is the one who physically like grabs the nozzle. Yeah, and they do it for you. Wow. And like that's just as weird to me as it is for you because like I'm in California.
Yeah.
But like I guess if the thesis is like the fewer humans, the more efficient, then Oregon is actually the loser here because they're adding an extra human.
That makes sense. So your premise is that like Cary pointed out, humans are actually a big source of the inefficiency that results in queues. If you're waiting for waiters to come out and do their thing, they're called waiters. I mean, like built into their name is the expectation that you are going to wait. I mean, okay, fine, they're waiting on us, but really, we're waiting on them. Have you noticed, by the way, that when you go to like when I was at Harvey Norman the other day, every time I go and I don't, or JB Hi-Fi, every time I go and I don't want someone to like come up to me, someone comes up to me. It's like, hey, can I help you?
Hey, can I help you?
And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm just browsing. But the times I actually want someone, no one's free.
Like, there's no one there. And
no
it's
one's
a ghost
free.
Town. Yeah.
Everyone's like
call
helping
someone
someone. Yeah, it's super awkward. It's just like absolute Murphy Law. And that's a type of queue, right? Because I'm waiting for the staff at the store and it's like, what's going on? And if there was a way it could be self-service, man. I'm thinking maybe I should implement the self-service thing at home. Like, so I've got a couple of kids, just a couple of kids, and sometimes there's a bit of a queue. Like, let's say, my wife isn't at home, so it's just me. Yeah. And there's a queue because both of them are coming to me asking, I don't know, what can I eat or whatever.
Yeah.
What if instead of dad, there was a self-service checkout?
Oh.
So
where they could go into the kitchen and cook for themselves?
So instead of coming to me, their natural parent, for their sustenance and what they need in life, they just go to this robot and they're like, wait, I've got a
virtual
This
butler.
reminds me of that movie. Have you seen the Megan movie? Like,
no, I haven't.
It's in cinemas
M3
now, I think.
GAN. Yeah.
Like it sounds exactly like what you were describing, where there's like a robot that is supposed to replace all like human social needs and well, I don't want to spoil it, but
I mean, just sort of knowing the category of movie that is, hopefully that's not the outcome that happens in my home when I replace myself with self-service for my kids.
Okay, I see. You're making fun of my solution, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I actually think it's decent and it sets a very good starting point for us to present even better solutions.
Yeah, I've given you guys a comparative advantage. It's all relative, so please
Thank
go
you,
for
Tom. You're so kind. It's just setting the bar so low is such a kind thing to do. Hey, Tom, do you own a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, a few of them actually.
You sure do. But what would you do if you didn't?
I would probably get on my computer right now, Google search engine, whatever search engine, search up dailypuzzles.com.au, who are actually the sponsor of today's episode.
They sure are. Daily Puzzles has hundreds of cubes, from 3x3s to Mega Minxes to whatever size this. This is a 7x7.
Exactly. Unique, mind-bending puzzles like mirror blocks, cylinder cube.
The Yeet Ball. They actually have a puzzle called the Yeet Ball. The names are crazy. They've got cubing accessories, like
timers, mats, much, much more.
It's so good. Daily Puzzles offers fast international shipping, so wherever you are,
worldwide.
And in fact, if you live in the US, shipping starts at like $5.
Dozens of puzzles discounted all the time on the
Constantly.
site. Friendly customer service.
Yep.
And if you wanted to get an extra 5% off these already insane prices, what do you think you would do?
I would probably go to the checkout page, and in the part where it says discount code, I would enter Solve Guys.
Solve Guys.
Just Solve Guys. No space. Solve Guys, and there you go. Boom. An extra discount. It's crazy.
Code Solve Guys, 5% off.
It's legit. So once you finish solving the world's problem with us, head over to dailypuzzles.com.au so that you can become a Solve Guy as well.
Yeah.
Just one of us.
Maybe we're all Solve Guys.
Maybe the true Solve Guys were the friends we made along the way.
Back to the podcast.
It is time for solution number 2, and that is our esteemed guest, Cary Huang. Would you like to present to the class what solution you have prepared today?
Right. So my solution is I wanted to go with something like very quirky and very specific. So in the 1950s in Manhattan, there was this issue where like in an office building, people were like clogging up the elevator lobby trying to get up to like their office during like lunch break or something like that. And the engineers heard all these complaints from the employees. They looked into the elevator lift to see if they could improve anything, and they couldn't. So they just said, tough luck. But then what someone realized is that if they just cover the entire lobby with mirrors from the floor to the ceiling, then even though the wait times to get back into the office were exactly the same, the number of complaints from the employees dropped to almost zero. And I think the takeaway is that like people will spend the time that they're normally like getting frustrated waiting by just like checking themselves out and like making sure they look good. Maybe like it's kind of fun to just like watch yourself.
Right.
People have,
and like
that's exactly what we're replacing impatience with vanity.
Yeah, which like, you know, maybe it's more fun to be a vain person than a impatient person.
Yeah.
This I will say is not like a one size fits all solution. This is more like a way to alleviate a problem.
Yep.
So like if you have wait times that are like 3 hours, you know, sometimes that's like a single mirror is not going to fix someone who's been waiting for 3 hours, but it can make it slightly better. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Wow. Was this a one-off or something that was like replicated? Like, has this actually been studied?
Well, actually, okay. So I know I said that there were like studies that back this up, but I think this is the only article I could find that described it. But I will say that like it's super often that I'll go to like an apartment building and the elevators are covered in mirrors, like either inside or outside.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, my thinking was that was always to give the illusion of space, like to sort of work against claustrophobia. But
yeah, I think
that
that's probably
sense.
like the bigger.
But well, I do think the factor of just being able to look at yourself or to, well, for me, don't want to give too much away, but it's a way that I get to look at other people without looking at them. If
interesting.
Not because I want to look at them.
Because you're a creep?
Not because I'm a creep, but because I need a general awareness of my surroundings. I need to know who's standing behind me just in case. And so a mirror allows me to do that without,
Safety.
But isn't that accomplishing what Cary just suggested, which is that it's making me kill time without realizing that I am?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's like you don't want to stare someone like directly in the face to like see who it is.
Unless they're devilishly handsome.
Like Tom is.
No, that's really interesting.
That's actually interesting. Okay, so again, I just got to implement this in my household. So I'm gonna have a self-service kiosk, but the hallway that leads to that kiosk in my house will be lined by mirrors.
Yeah.
And so that will just completely optimize the experience for my kids when they just like need some food.
They're going to feel like they have friends around them because they see all these other kids walking with them in the hallway.
And they think that's other kids and not themselves. I was going to say, I know, Ming, you were also talking about like, oh, if you wanted to devise your own crazy version, what would you do? And I was thinking like the goal is pretty much to just entertain the waiter, the person who's waiting. So like maybe have the mirrors like as you walk down the hallway or whatever it is, have the mirrors turn more and more into like those mirror house wacky wavy mirrors.
Yeah,
so
that is so clever.
Like
it starts out being like normal, but then the deeper you get into your waiting session, the wackier it gets.
Yeah, that is so clever. How about if you implemented this at like a supermarket? Because you know how at the checkout, that's where you put like, you know, candy and lollies and sweets and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What if you put mirrors that made people look thinner than they were? So they're like,
thinner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I could buy a bit more, eat a bit more.
I could totally take 5 chocolate bars.
You give them the confidence. God. Are they going to
and make them more willing to like splurge?
Yeah.
And then when they're going down the health aisle,
mirrors that make them look
wider. And they're like, okay, I probably need this.
I probably need this $50 slimming protein powder.
That's right.
I think the sad thing is like if you were to implement it but like make it very slight, I actually think you could get away with it because
you totally could. Yeah.
Like I think people won't catch on if it only makes them like 2% wider, but like subconsciously they'll think, am I really like that thin? You know?
That's right. And then you can just argue, 2% was just within the acceptable limitations of the quality control of the mirror. We didn't intend to do it. It was the manufacturer. Yeah.
Or maybe like
lest you think
like the mirror was warped by the heat of the sun or something.
Yep. By your good looks. Yeah. Hey, there's a lot of psychology in play. I mean, lest you think I'm being like crazy with this suggestion. There's a lot of psychology in a supermarket.
Yeah.
To make you want to, spend as much time as you can there. Spend the most money.
How much time a day do people spend in their bathroom mirror? Looking over themselves or getting ready, or
it's not very much for me because I'm confident in who I am.
Right. Yeah, me either. I would never.
True.
I would never do that either. So I don't know who we're talking about. So
that doesn't explain the like 20 mirrors hanging up in your room, Tom.
Have you ever done that thing where like you turn all the lights off and then you stare at yourself in the mirror? And then, like, it's so dark that, like, your brain...
And then you say Bloody Mary 3 times.
Oh, that too. That too. You can also do that. But I was thinking, like, there's like this... There's like there's like a psychological effect where, like, if it's so dark, like, the parts of your face will start to, like, wander and drift, and, like, you'll look like a distorted version of yourself.
Wow.
But it's very spooky. So, like...
Never done that. It's just you. It's just you, buddy.
I only did it like once with like some friends in college, and I don't think I would do it alone because I don't want to spook myself out.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that seems scary.
But yeah, so mirrors can do a lot, spook you out or make you more patient.
Last and probably least, Ming, take it away. What is your solution to the?
I've been talking a big game this entire episode, and I'm slightly regretting that now, as I'm about to present it. That this could fall on its face.
Pressure is on.
You guys ready for this? This could actually
I'm ready.
Solve the problem of queues worldwide for all eternity. I would like to propose an all-in-one universal queuing app. So hear me out. Already, there are, digital ways to promote virtual queuing, as we've spoke about before. So last year when I had to buy school shoes for my kids, it was like just before school starting. And so, all the parents, families are out. But instead of having to join a queue, I just had to scan a QR code. And then I was placed into a virtual queue. I could continue shopping in the shopping center. And then when it was my time to, when someone was ready to see me, they would send me a notification on my phone. So that's stuff that's already being done. It's not being done very frequently, but obviously my universal queuing app is going to have this. By the way, my app's called Q, like just the letter Q.
Just the letter Q.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's
the icon
and like trendy.
As well. It's so cool. So at very least, obviously it's going to have that, right? It's also even going to give you things like, it's going to give you like real-time there is buying involved. Like this is something that all the retailers are going to have to get on board with. Yeah. But if I went shopping center, for example, took that app out, not only can I use this to queue at different stores, but it's also going to give me real-time updates on just what the queues are like at any store I might want to go to. So instead of walking like 200 meters to go to Target or whatever, I look at it right now and it shows, this is how many people are at checkout, this is how many people are at whatever. And I can decide, all right, maybe I'm not, maybe I'll go somewhere else.
Like a heat map sort of what's busy right now.
That's exactly right.
Wait.
Yep.
Yeah, Ming, you know what that reminds me of? It's sort of like how Google Maps will like direct cars away from really high trafficked roads to like spread out the weight. This is like spreading.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they do that based on like, other cars that are like using Google Maps as well. But like this would allow customers to know before they get to like the grocery store that like this one is already really clogged. Don't come here.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And before you think that it's only just for shopping centers, I was even thinking if there was enough buy-in, this could even happen at a supermarket checkout. So, there are some retailers that are just huge. Again, I'm probably thinking of the US of A, where like Walmart might have like 50 checkouts or whatever. If I'm making this up, don't
Mhm.
even correct me. Just let me live in my fantasy world. And so you open the app and it tells you aisle whatever or checkout 12 is the one to go to right now because all the others just have too many people there. And so you don't have to like, scan and just like, which one's going to be best.
Yeah.
It tells you. So that's just the first thing this app does.
Interesting.
That's just the first thing, and that is already a massive setup to make possible.
That's just the first thing.
I like your big goals there.
The next thing it does is that it will let you chat directly with the store. So the reason why you might do that is you might actually just need to ask a really quick question. Like maybe I actually just need to ask, do they have this shoe in this size? And if I just text that real quick, and if there's someone there who's just like, scanning through messages, they might not respond to everyone because some might be, silly questions.
Yeah.
But something like that, they might be able to like, oh, sorry, we don't have any of that in size or in store. And there you go. I can exit the queue because I don't even need to go.
Because like a lot of times you have like a question about a product and you know it'll only take like 5 seconds to get your answer, but you don't want to like cut in front of these people who've been waiting because it looks like you're just, cutting in front of them. So this would be a good way to like get your answer in and out without like disturbing the public.
All in that one app.
Yeah.
Now here's the killer feature. This is the best feature of all.
Are you trying to sell us to? Is this Shark Tank today?
I'm
not buying into this.
That's exactly right. No, here's the
I'm
best
out.
one. So
no, for those reasons, I'm out.
It gets better. So we've been talking about just human inefficiency, and I think that's one of the saddest thing about I guess the virtual queuing or the self-service checkout. Like, there's just reducing human interaction means just taking away such a big part of what it means to be human, just a social aspect of life.
Yeah.
But what if instead of if I'm losing that social sort of, in-person, face-to-face social interaction with the retailer, what if I can at least still interact with the other people in queue? So this app lets you play multiplayer local games with whoever's around you.
Wow.
Because they have the same app as well. It's this one app called Queue. And so you can just search and within like 10 meters, it's like, hey, these are the people around you. And then you can just challenge them to like, oh, hey, let's play a real quick game of like a word game. Let's play I Spy.
Right.
We're in the same location, right? And so like, hey, I spy this, whatever. And then like 5 people around you, everyone can like try and guess like which one it is.
Yeah.
You get to interact with the people around you. You get to make the waiting experience fun. Or
Right.
with my app Queue, which I'm offering today for
the low price of $99.99.
What do you think?
That's
Look,
a lot
Sharks.
for an app.
I will give you 10% of the company.
10%.
Yeah, that is a big app.
It is a big
lot of
app. And like I
features.
said, there's a lot of buying involved. It means everyone has to be on board with it.
Yeah,
it needs to have the networking effect. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Now, I hope that there will be no pay to win or any
Oh.
in-app purchases because
there probably will be ads that you'll have to pay to get rid of. I mean, it is an app
sounds
after all.
annoying. You see Karen on the app who's like has VIP
We
gold.
love Karens, by the
Queue
way.
member.
There's nothing specific about Karens.
Yeah, I
And
was
she
gonna say
just
like
skips
if
to the front.
if Bill Gates like used this app, could he just like skip everything because like a $5 fee is like nothing to him?
Yeah. I just think that with this app, that not only it tells me in advance, where I should go, that lets me just sort of skip the queue by being able to talk to staff members without appearing like I've skipped the queue and allow me to play. This would actually make my queuing experience, my waiting experience fun.
Yeah. I really like the game idea as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the game idea reminds me of something that I've been seeing a lot in Ubers lately, which is where the Uber driver will have like an iPad kind of draped over the seat in front, and then it will ask you like trivia questions while you're on your ride.
Whoa,
And like
that's cool. I
find
haven't seen that here.
I think it's called like octopus quiz or something with the word octopus in it.
Yeah.
But basically, like, I find myself getting really into it, and then when the driver says, "Okay, we're at your destination," and I'm like halfway through a game,
You're like,
I almost
really?
like I almost want the ride to go on for like another minute or two.
That's right. That's
Wait,
clever.
that's something
that is so clever. Yeah.
Like your app might also have that issue where people get really into their multiplayer games. And
That's
then,
true.
like,
And then when it's their turn. Oh, but hey, whatever built into the app was also the option to then like say, oh no, you know, I'll wait a bit longer. You go.
Like I'm about to win this match.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so even if it notifies you and says you're next, like they already see you now, you can press snooze
yeah.
or something, and then the next person gets notified.
Interesting.
Oh my God.
I think I'm onto something. I just want to say that.
Imagine if someone like ends up spending
I even have the
hours.
tagline.
Oh, what's the tagline?
It's don't thank me, thank Q.
Like, thank you. Oh my God. Thank you.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
Not called the Solve Guys for nothing.
It almost reminds me of like game warm-ups. Like if you played like first-person shooters or something where you queue for a match, you get the match, but pre-match you have like this warm-up that keeps people interested. They're not waiting too long for everyone to join and get ready.
There are so many types of queues actually. Come to think about it.
Yeah. So like I guess it's taking elements that like a bunch of elements that have already existed in other contexts and just puts them under an app specific for queuing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, there goes that audience again. They're going wild. They're so quiet for like half an hour.
Audience.
Well, I reckon I'll implement all three into this thing I'm devising for my kids at home. So they're gonna have that hallway lined with mirrors with the self-service checkout at the end, but they'll also on their phones have the Q app, so they can play
games with each other.
They have to click Q. It's like talk to dad, spend quality time with father. 59-minute ETA. They're like,
and then I get a notification on my phone, like kid 1 wants to spend quality time with you.
Snooze.
And I'm like, snooze.
Cancel.
Snooze. Right, they're also just reduced to like numbers, like IDs. Like they don't have a name. This is kid number 3 or whatever.
001, 002.
It's like, you only have 2 kids, Dad. It's like, shut up, 001.
Yeah. It has the capacity for up to 999 kids, so better get cracking.
Yeah.
That's a really creative app. I like it.
I don't want to overstate it, but I think between the three of us, we have solved the problem.
Yeah. And I can see this app like actually existing very soon, like especially considering you've said that there's already similar things going on in department stores already. So I think you're onto something.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're going to need to really get it to get off the ground is like integration. So like Walmart has its own app and like I bet what other stores like not Toys R Us because they're dead, but what's another grocery store? Like Safeway has its own app and it's like you want Safeway and Q to like fuse and like be able to speak to each other.
And that, my friends, is why this app is never going to work. That right there is why it's never going to take off. Just making all these rival companies talk to each other. Nope.
But it has worked with Uber Eats and those sort of things, right? Where they can take data from every store and kind of fuse it into one third-party app.
That is true.
Q retrieves data from these other apps.
Uber queues. Maybe that's a good idea to sell to Uber queues. They might pick that up for us.
Speaking of like Uber Eats, I've been surprised like how many like food delivery apps there are because like in some industries like there's a big monopoly. Like in search, you only got Google and a little bit of Bing. But like for food delivery, there's like Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, there's like Menulog, DoorDash. Yeah, and I'm just surprised that like there isn't just one big winner. And, but I guess like maybe like in the queuing space, like that means that, like it won't just be Q. There'll also be like R and S and T.
UV.
That was a really bad joke. That was really bad.
Love it.
I didn't think about that. That right there is, hey, do you think that maybe Q should be bought by Alphabet?
Oh, that would get a lot of extra funding. Oh, Alphabet. Oh. I thought you were just like looking for like a big company to fund you.
No, I think I might be onto something. And that's 26 potential company like mini subsidiaries that they have right there. That was what did I tell you? That was a banger of an episode.
Yeah.
It was huge. We solved it.
I think
we solved
we're
it.
2 for 2.
We are
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too confident.
No.
What do you guys
It's going to
think?
continue. Huge thank you to Cary. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast and being our very first guest.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Like, I'm a big fan of both of your channels. So it's like I've heard your voices and faces for so long, and now I get to interact with them. It's so cool.
It's bragging rights for you. First guest ever.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He did it. He was
Bragging
the
rights
first
for
solver.
Cary.
No one can take that from you. It will always
I'll change
be
my
yours.
Twitter bio to first guest star of the
Change
Solve
Twitter handle.
Guys.
That's
The
Solve
handle.
by
By
Cary.
Cary.
Solve
Solve
by
by
Cary,
Cary
yeah.
from now on, please.
So every time I reply to like anyone, they'll know, oh, this is the Solve Guy star.
You know what? Maybe we can look into getting a portrait of Cary on the wall here, and it just says like guest of the month, guest of the show.
Oh my
Guest
God.
of the show. That's just
Oh my God,
put
just
a little picture of everyone who's been a guest just on the curtain that's like hanging
would
out
be cool,
behind
yeah.
us now. Yeah.
Wait, actually, like,
Hey, if you
we'll
guys
get on
have problems of your own, whether they're big or small, that you would like us to address in upcoming episodes, please leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube, or email us at solveguys@tingman.com.au. I'm not sure why we went with the Tingman domain. It was just available.
Yeah, this guy, like, he's selling it for pretty cheap. It's like
Yeah.
no one was really
I don't know.
interested
It's
in
just- it's just
using
how
his
it is.
domain. So
Yeah. Huge thank you again to Cary for joining us today. And I hope that, we solved your problems of queues. But otherwise, with that,
we're the Solve Guys, and
problem
thank you.
solved.
thanks for listening, viewers. You'll never have to spend another
Thank you,
minute in a
Cary.
queue.